50,000 years ago in a Siberian cave, someone carved a needle out of bone. It was 7 centimeters long with a tiny eye drilled through one end. And that single sliver of bone is the reason your species survived the Ice Age. Without it, the minus 40-degree wind sweeping across the mammoth steppe would strip the heat from a human body in minutes. Draped hides weren't enough. A gap at the wrist, a loose seam at the neck, and you were dead by morning. But that needle, discovered in Denisova Cave, changed the math entirely. Research published in Science Advances in 2024 showed that eyed needles allowed humans to sew multi-layered, tailored clothing, fitted inner layers, windproof outer shells, effectively doubling the thermal insulation of anything worn before. Think about what that means. The thing standing between early humans and freezing to death wasn't fire. It wasn't muscle. It was a piece of bone thinner than a matchstick, with a hole in it. And once you understand that, the graves start making sense. Near Vladimir, Russia, archaeologists uncovered a 30,000-year-old burial site called Sungir. 2 children lay in the earth, and around their bodies, more than 3,000 mammoth ivory beads. The leather they were sewn onto had rotted away completely. But the beads stayed exactly where they'd fallen, tracing the outline of tailored pants, fitted jackets, and knee-high boots. Ghosts of clothing preserved in dirt. Researchers estimate each bead took about an hour to carve. Do the math. A single child's outfit represented thousands of hours of labor from a nomadic tribe that was constantly moving, constantly hunting, constantly cold. Winter clothing wasn't clothing. It was the most expensive technology these people owned. And a single torn seam could undo all of it. Now push forward another 15,000 years to a place called Mezhirich in modern Ukraine. Humans there faced a new problem. The steppe had no trees, no timber for shelter, no wood for fire. So they built houses out of the only material left: mammoths. One structure at Mezhirich measured 33 feet across. It was assembled from 149 mammoth bones. Stacked jawbones formed the walls, interlocking like brickwork. Skulls anchored the base. Tusks curved overhead to hold down hides. Some of those bones weighed hundreds of pounds each, and inside, they burned bone itself as fuel because there was nothing else to burn. Picture that for a moment. A dome of skulls glowing from within on an empty white plain. Humans didn't just hunt the mammoth, they lived inside it. But even inside that shelter, wearing that tailored clothing, there was one more enemy waiting. And this one came from inside the body. Dr. Melanie Beasley studied nitrogen isotopes preserved in Neanderthal bones. The results were staggering. Their nitrogen-15 levels matched apex predators, cave lions, hyenas, creatures that ate almost nothing but meat. And that should have killed them. Because the human liver has a hard ceiling. It can only process around 4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight before it starts to fail. Push past that, and you get what Arctic explorers later called rabbit starvation. Protein poisoning. You can eat lean meat all day, feel full, and still die of malnutrition within weeks. So how did Neanderthals survive an all-meat winter? They didn't eat it like we do. They gorged on fat, bone marrow, brains, organ tissue, the greasiest cuts of every kill. And when fresh fat ran out, evidence suggests they ate meat that had been left to rot, letting bacteria and maggots partially break it down. It sounds horrifying. It was survival chemistry. The animals they hunted to stay alive could kill them if they ate them wrong. Winter wasn't a fight against cold. It was a tightrope walk between freezing outside and poisoning inside. Every meal was a calculation. Every layer of clothing, a bet against the wind. Every mammoth bone in the wall, a corpse repurposed into a roof. The Ice Age wasn't conquered by strength. It was conquered by a bone needle, a wall of skulls, and a stomach full of fat. Like and subscribe if you want to see how humans conquered the desert next.